Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Green09 back here once again bringing you another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. We got another game here today by request. This one already hit the popular replays tab. I didn't actually end up watching it before it got there. It's just one that I skipped over and said, no, I'm not watching that. But apparently it's really good and I have to do it. It does feature AsMondiAns, which is Bike Rush owns, and I know what you're thinking, but it's still about the game in this one here. The game is supposed to be really good, so that's what we're going to be focusing on. We also have SteveNash13. He also really wanted to request this game be VODed here. I mean, he's had about 6 casts in the last couple of months. I'm not sure if he's aware of that. And he hasn't been quite grabbing the views I'd be hoping, so hopefully this one here is really good. It's on the popular replays tab. Haven't seen it yet. Like I said, looked over this one here, but it should be pretty good. We have Dieselhead as well. Shout out to Dieselhead, who's observing this game here. And let's jump straight in. We have SteveNash. He's obviously playing as the green nod over here. We're on Tournament Dust Bowl again here, so second game in a row. Hope you all enjoyed that last kind of not quite first person, but you know, third person / watching back one of my own replays kind of thing. That game there, while it wasn't exactly stunning or anything, it was really good to watch. You can't deny that it was just a great game to watch. Anyway, that one did make replay of the week, so that was pretty awesome. I was hoping it would. And we have SteveNash here. He is going for, he knows his opponent is GDI, by the way. It is a GDI versus Nod. They both know exactly what they're up against. Now, Bike Rush didn't go for, and yes, I'm going to call him Bike Rush because obviously that's his well-known name. Not one of the... no, I just better stop and just keep focusing on the game here. We have dual Shadows out here by SteveNash. He went for Militant squads as well, Militants and Shadows. Now, Bike Rush is like, oh, well, he doesn't want to buy that, so he didn't even go for any Engineers or anything like that. And SteveNash is probably going to be a bit disappointed that he doesn't get an Engineer kill here, or even any Scout kills. Especially since he sent 3 Militant squads there. One of them's almost dead. They may have walked across the tip field, or perhaps the ball on the barracks crushed them, because that does happen. It's quite interesting. I didn't know about that until just recently. Someone pointed it out on the forums, and that was pretty sick. Bike Rush has a scouting party down here. He has a scouting party there, which somehow got around the shadow teams. He hasn't seen them. These Militant squads should be able to clean them up, because there are 2 Militant squads there, or 1.5, and they will clean them up here. He's probably looking to target the power plant, but of course, because he sent them to the spikes first, they won't be able to cut off the power plant. Bike Rush almost has his second ref up, so it's not going to really slow him down too much. But really, SteveNash has to destroy something here, and he's going to destroy the power plant. That's going to put him really, really low on power. He could probably power down one of his refs. That might get his power a little bit better, because it's definitely double build time right now. If your power is this low, it's double build time. You want at least to get it down to the 25% build time, or the extra 25%, should I say. And SteveNash is following this up with an operation center. So he went Shadows, got both the spikes into an operation center. Is there a flame tank coming? And I mean, I've been saying this a lot about Nod lately. A lot of people are they're really frustrated that they can't beat GDI in a brute force game. You're not supposed to beat GDI as a brute force. I mean, GDI is built around brute force. That's why they're good at it, alright? Now, Nod is good at fast attack, hit and run. He actually takes out another power plant. So that's what you got to do. You got to get into the GDI base, keep them on the defensive, weaken them, keep them down, and then that'll set you up to win that game. So, yeah, stop trying to take on the GDI brute force, because really that's their job, alright? That's why they're good at it. They are very slow, they are very vulnerable to Nod's fast attacks, so you really should work that. And it's good to see that SteveNash is going to be doing that. Engineer into the APC for Bike Rush. He's moving to his expansion now. SteveNash doesn't even have a second ref down, but I can just assume there are some... No, there's a Reckoner. He's got a dual flame Reckoner, and oh man, Bike Rush has nothing to counter that right now. He's got Pitbulls, and he's got another APC here, and the Shadow teams take out the racks, kill the units there, and they're going to make their escape. Now, they run faster than these vehicles, so they should be fine. But this dual flame Reckoner, I can't even see where it is on the map. It should be coming in pretty soon. If he had some minefields down, he might be able to minefield it if he can get in front of it, but that's not going to happen. I assume SteveNash will set up here. Oh no, he's actually going to set up here. If he set up here, you get both the ref and the war factory, but he's obviously going for this ref. He could burn down these, maybe even 3 power plants. Bike Rush is in serious trouble. He does have a spike under his control. The Shadow teams did get cleaned up. That was bad by SteveNash. I would have thought he would have got those away. They're very fast. What's he going to do now? He really needs to change target and start flaming down. Bike Rush using a silo drop. That's good. You should always use silo drops to prevent extra structures from being burned down. It doesn't look like he can even range that refinery. He doesn't actually finish the silo off either. He needs to destroy the power plant. He can take out 2 power plants, maybe even 3. Oh, you can actually reach the refinery. This is super bad, super bad. Another refinery gets placed down here. That was obviously for his expansion, but he's decided to place it there. Instead, he needs a silo to block this right now. He hasn't got a silo. Oh man, there it is, just at the last second there. He needs to, and obviously you can see that the silos don't really withstand flame, but it just breaks their line of sight. And if SteveNash isn't watching, he won't be able to reorder the attack, because silos, despite being a defensive structure on the defense tab, units won't attack them. They don't, whereas normal defenses will get attacked. Silos will not, especially in the Titan silo rush. You can plant them in front of photon cannons and stop them. And oh man, nice work. SteveNash bails out at the very last second. I was sitting there talking like, yeah, he's going to lose all those because he's not going to bail them out. But he bailed them out somehow at the last fraction of a second. And he's going to get maybe another power plant. There's something happening in the middle of the map there. Oh, he does get another power plant. That's nice work there. So this is what I'm talking about. Engineer is going to go over here, but he can't really hope to capture that spike. There is a buggy just waiting for him. So SteveNash obviously responding to that. He probably has a second ref. He's gone on a Scorpion tank, so he did what he needed to do. Oh man, not paying attention. He is going to get it. Yes, lucky. I don't like that sometimes. You can shoot through the spikes. It's a bit hit and miss. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It just seems to be totally random. Of course, little glitches with the engine. Bike rushes, he's all over the place. He's like, oh man, what just happened? He's got another ref over here now. And like I said, this is what Nod need to do. You need to go out and hit the GDI opponent. Don't let them build up in strength. And the thing here is that SteveNash has been following his attacks up. He went for Shadow Teams, but then he backed it up with a Reckoner, and the Reckoner did a ton of damage. And now he's got a dual War Factory Scorpion spam coming. Scorpion's obviously faster than the GDI Predator tanks. They can probably just outmaneuver, keep him in his base. Bike Rush is trying to macro. You can see he's got a lot of Harvesters left over because he has to place extra refs, obviously, because he's been losing so many. So Harvesters aren't going to be a problem right now. I'm not sure whether SteveNash is going to go and target refineries or target Harvesters here. There's a lot of Harvesters to be killing, and there is an Engineer down there from an APC, but obviously SteveNash is fully aware of that and he kills it. Obviously Bike Rush trying to go in with that there. I would like to see SteveNash get back on the offensive ASAP. He's got tanks, he's moving out now. There's not a lot of tanks, he's actually left one behind. He does have Dozer Blades, he has got an expansion up, he's replaced another Operations Center. I'd like to see dual Flame Tank. He could just stop his production, go bam bam, pump out 2 Flame Tanks, send one either way. I really love Flame Tanks. I really should play as Nod just to build some Flame Tanks, because I would use them just about every game, they're so good. All they need to do is sneak past around the edge of the maps and into the back, and you've got a guaranteed building kill, and it's usually a tech center. And here we go, he's actually going to destroy this spike here. That's going to lure the GDI army down here now. Of course, the Predator tanks are better than the Scorpions. There's a lot of Scorpions there, though. They can probably destroy these APCs at the front. Yeah, there's just not enough units here. They got a great concave. They're chasing these guys away. There's 2 free kills, basically. These Predator tanks are going to be forced back. They're going to get overwhelmed. There's bikes over here. I'm not sure if they should be with the tank force there. Pitbull scouting through. That's good work by Bike Rush, trying to keep his eyes on what SteveNash is actually up to, since he is on the defensive here. And he's going to push these units back here, but SteveNash has not. He better not overcommit here. There's a lot of rocket squads with Predator tanks. He's going to go for the crush, and that's really committing. He needs to be sure he can get out of there. And I don't think he's going to. There's too many Predator tanks. The Predator tanks will defeat these Scorpion tanks. And Bike Rush being forced to launch his Orcas a bit early here, obviously giving away the fact that he has a double Orca airfield here. He's bringing bikes over, but they just got smashed by something, maybe a pit. And SteveNash will lose his force here. He did knock down a fair bit of Bike Rush's ground forces, but a lot of these last tanks pretty much just are getting trashed by the Orcas. However, SteveNash is fully aware of this dual Orca airfield. And what has he got going now? He's still pushing Scorpion tanks, he's not transitioning. This is the thing, he knows he's against dual Orca airfield and Predator tanks, and they will rip these Scorpions apart. The Scorpions they can't outrun the Orcas, so there's no point. He needs some kind of defense here. He did have a few bikes here and there, but they ended up with the attack. And he's still going Scorpion tanks. What's he got? Oh, here we go. Venoms. He's going for Venoms. They're only $900. You can pump them out pretty quickly. And of course, Predator tanks and Orcas can't shoot at them, so they're not going to be able to do anything. And if he selects these guys, puts them on a control group, he's obviously going for quite a few. He can just shoot the Orcas out of the sky very, very fast. And the Orcas are off the deck. A tech center is down, and Railguns, I believe, is under development here. There is a Pitbull down here, and there's the Orcas, but the Harvester manages to re-stealth. There is only one double A turret here, and he uses a scan. A second double A turret comes up now. Oh man, I'm losing my voice now. One Harvester goes down, 2 Harvesters go down, but how many Orcas did he lose? I think he lost too many there. He lost 6 Orcas, and he sells one of the fields, transfers the rest to the other field. He's like, alright, that's enough of that. SteveNash has got too much counters for that. I'm not going to continue with that. He probably doesn't even need these Venoms anymore, because that wasn't too good for Bike Rush. He did get 2 Harvesters. Let's see what SteveNash is going to do. He's kind of stuck back here now, and I think Bike Rush is getting a little bit too comfortable. He's going for another expansion. He's going for Railguns, and he's going to have a lot of Predator tanks, and this is going to be really bad. I would have thought perhaps SteveNash maybe would have dropped his tech, got some Vertigo bombers, because they would have massacred these Predator tanks. They just come in, have each bomber on a separate control group, or maybe in pairs. I think the idea behind Vertigos is to have them in pairs, so you can build 4 from a field. You put on control group 5 or 6 or whatever, I tend to put my Firehawks on control group 5 through 9 or stuff like that. They're usually on the same control group unless there's several fields of them. That only usually happens in 3v3s or larger scale maps, so they get more than 4, because it becomes very hard. And you don't want to overcommit on things like Firehawks in a 1v1 because you know, bad stuff happens. And we have a few Venoms just chilling over here. What's he going to do with those? He's still building Scorpion tanks. He doesn't have laser capacitors, so he's going to get demolished once these railgun Preds hit here. But Bike Rush hasn't got them all together. They're all spread out. And this is SteveNash's chance to try and destroy some on the edge. He's going to run forward. He's probably going to get a few kills here. There you go, Bike Rush pulling back just a few of the tanks, letting the rest come forward. He didn't come in formation or all grouped up, but he's managed to group them up now. And SteveNash in a bit of trouble. The Orcas, 4 Orcas have been rebuilt. Do they have hard points? No hard points. There are Pitbulls over here attacking that as well. He's being forced to fall back, and these railgun Preds, they have the brute force, and they will move through this base here. Their 2 avatars came out. They will help immensely, especially with the war factories there. Is he running forward for a crush? He actually has 3 avatars there. That's nice. He's going to push these Scorpion tanks back there. The lasers on the avatars quite powerful. One of them takes some pretty bad damage, but he's going to be able to push these tanks back. They really don't have any other support. What's happening over here? The Venoms are going through, and there's some bike and buggy going through there. The Venoms obviously waiting for the Orcas. They must have shot 1 down, but they're going to shoot the rest down now. And these Harvesters getting attacked by just a handful of units. He needs to destroy that one because it's very easy to destroy that one there because it's almost dead, and the Venom's still working down these Orcas, as you can see there. There's really nothing the Orcas can do against that, and the Venom's ranking up, just chilling over there. All these Harvesters going to be destroyed. What's happening over here? The Conyard is still alive. It's still alive. There's a, what do you call it, a Scorpion Avatar army over here. It's not very big, but it's capable of pushing these Preds away. They're over here in the corner. What's happening back up here? Looks like finally SteveNash's harassment has been cleaned up, but he still has these, vertigos. These Venoms. Is he gonna? I don't think he can destroy these units here. No, they're not powerful enough. There's only a couple of them as well, and they will die pretty quickly. He's getting them out of there. I think he was going laser capacitors. He may be going laser capacitors here. He should keep these guys alive until he can get laser capacitors out, and he's actually going to use them to kill all those rocket infantry there. Scorpion tanks running through now, and all of a sudden this is looking a lot better for SteveNash using the avatars. Nice. Bike Rush really can't do much about this now. He's trying to spam out rockets, but that's not going to work. Has the laser capacitors are done, and the Venoms will obviously benefit from that. The Scorpion tanks here, those Pitbulls can't touch them. He's going to come in. I think he may win the game right here and now. What's happening now? You know, the Predator tank army is coming back in and drawing SteveNash away. There is one Venom there that's not going to really do much to armor. He's still trying to spam them out, obviously making use of the particle beam, not the particle beam, the laser capacitors, but SteveNash, Bike Rush is in all sorts of trouble. His economy has been trashed, and he's not going to be able to defend this area. SteveNash is going to clean him up, but on the other side of the map, looks like the operations center is just about to go down. He probably should take out the air tower so SteveNash can't build any more Venoms, because he's got quite a few of them now. And if they build up, and there goes the mine drop, and as soon as those Predator tanks move, they're all going to be annihilated. There we go, bam, 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 all of them going down. There's just not enough Predator tanks left to win this game. SteveNash does not have a ref. He's finished the base over here, cleaned that up, very nice indeed. A couple of Venoms heading back to base. He needs to get all his Venoms together and control group them. He needs to send this army up here and destroy the last structures. Bike Rush only has an airfield remaining. What has he got down here? SteveNash selling off all his structures. There's only 4 Predator tanks. He can't possibly lose from here. He has too many Venoms. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 7, and if they focus fire, they should be able to destroy the tanks. There you go. Obviously not an anti-army unit, but when they've got laser capacitors and there's, you know, a group of about this size, you can see they can slowly work these guys down here. And that's going to be the end of Bike Rush here. His only offensive power was really the Orcas and the Predator tanks, and SteveNash going for an interesting build type here. I think Nod needs to use Venoms a little bit more often. There you go. He's just won the game, so that wasn't too bad at all. Yeah, like I was saying, I think Nod needs to use Venoms a little bit more for what they're intended, either scouting, aircraft, or get a small group of them together just to run around, because don't forget, Orcas can't outrun Venoms. Venoms are so fast, like literally Orcas are totally denied by Venoms, especially if you're getting laser capacitors as well. That game there was only 13 minutes, 10 seconds, or 11 seconds there. That wasn't too bad at all. And look at the scores here, man. It's quite even. Let's go to the unit structure. No, I'll skip that one for now. I'll go to the resources structure. And you can see that SteveNash was very depleted here because he went for his rush. He went for shadows, and then he followed it up with the Flame Reckoner and did a ton of damage. And that's, you can see the Flame Reckoner hit about here, even the score a bit. But then SteveNash, he didn't quite follow it up after that. I was expecting some kind of flame tank or something, but he built Scorpion tanks, and he kind of sat at his base with them for a while, and that allowed Bike Rush to really just push away again. It wasn't a big advantage. You can see it's only very slight until about the 10-minute mark, where it started getting way too big. And then, of course, SteveNash managed to hit him again and destroy the harvesters at this point here. SteveNash obviously losing out against the Pred tanks there, but ultimately coming through there. That's why I got to keep pressuring this. Nod has to keep attacking and keep the GDI player on the back foot, and that's how they're supposed to win games. It's 92,492 to Buycrush and 90,431 to SteveNash, so we can see that Buycrush only got $2,000 more, and that's literally insignificant. There's no difference whatsoever in the economic race here. So Rifleman Squad favorite unit from Buycrush, Scorpion Tank favorite unit from SteveNash. We had a 1.55 kill death ratio from SteveNash. That's a very good indeed for Nod, comparing the 0.65 to Buycrush there. He didn't do too well with the kill death ratio there. Again, would have liked to see SteveNash follow up his Flame Reckoner a little bit sooner than he did, and a lot of his Scorpion tanks got trashed by the Pred Orca combo there. So that was nice work from Buycrush. Let's have a look at these other structures here, these other stats here. SteveNash actually created less units than Buycrush. That's unusual again for Nod. Obviously, SteveNash going for expensive avatars, and they really paid off. I mean, Buycrush was not expecting that. He got too many of them, and he had support, he had Veners to protect them against infantry, he had Scorpion tanks to fill the gaps, so that was a really good force there. So if you want brute forces, Nod, get Scorpion tanks and avatars, because that's really what they're for. And then of course Venom's Scorpion tank avatar. That sounds like a really good deal as well. It wouldn't be too expensive either. Of course, avatar is very cheap compared to other tier 3 armored units. So that was a very good game. I hope you all enjoyed that game there, and I will see you all next time.